Hey everyone, welcome back to Conversations with Caregivers. At Criado, I like to talk about what we mean when we say caregivers. So, what we mean by this is those are the people who show up for our community: doctors, doulas, builders, healers, organizations, and heart holders who care deeply for their community. Which, when we say community, we're kind of talking specifically BIPOC women ages 25 to 45. There's some flexibility within that, but that's generally who our community is. And in this segment, we're sitting down with those who pour into others to hear their stories, their whys, and the wisdom that they've gathered along the way. And I am so excited to talk to Ashlee Whiteside today. She is one of our community experts on for Criado, and she's a certified strength coach and women's wellness advocate. I'm gonna read a little information about her, and then we'll hear her beautiful voice and get started. So, Ashlee Whiteside is the owner of Project Body TM. She was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Ashlee decided to take her interest in personal training to the next level, from training out of her trunk in 2013 to elite gyms in the area. Since then, Ashlee has become certified in multiple fitness domains, specializing in fat loss, HIIT, strength and conditioning training, mobility, and also pre and postnatal. As a coach, she's committed to pushing, motivating, and uplifting each of her clients to dedicate themselves, to the fit lifestyle and striving to be the highest version of themselves through wellness, mindfulness, and hormone balance. No matter your goals, Ashlee's priority is to help you supersede your goals through motivation, discipline, and hard work. Welcome, Ashlee.
How are you, girly?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Ooh, I miss you, dog.
I know. I miss you too.
Excited for this conversation tonight.
Yes, me too. Okay, let's get into it. I always like to start with the person and not the title because titles are great and it's great to hear all the accolades and who you are and what you do, but in this podcast we like to get deep. So, beyond the accolades and beyond the gym, who is Ashlee? Like what drives you to do the work that you do?
I love this. I am a mom, a wife, a child of God at the biggest title, I guess, and an entrepreneur. I am someone who really just strives to be the best person that she could possibly be, whatever that looks like. I know sometimes that's not the prettiest thing, all have our times where we're not the our best selves, but it's all about the journey. And I'm enjoying the journey right now of life and growth, but also having the community around me to bring them with me and help them throughout whatever it is that they're going through as well.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank
Girl.
you. Um, Okay, so I'm curious. We're going off script already. When you led with you being a mom, can you talk about how that has kind of shaped your journey as an entrepreneur? Because I know sometimes those don't really go hand in hand, or sometimes they can. So I'm curious how that has been for you.
Well, there's definitely like the ups and downs.
Mhm.
I think it was really the push it gave me to like step out and become an entrepreneur because at this point I realized that it's not just me that I
Mhm.
have to take care of. I have extra eyes on me. Like my son he's 10 now. His name is Nova. But he's also a very observant child. He's very, very smart. And I knew that from when he was really, really, really small, just at
Mm.
how he was. And so it just kind of shifted and gave me that extra push to say, if you're going to do this, make sure you do it and do it right and give it your all because you have a child that's watching you that is one day going to learn these things and he's going to implement these in his life as well because of what he saw growing up.
Yeah.
Um, the main thing I want him to see is that you can have whatever it is that you want, but
Mm.
it's not easy and you got to work for it. So that's what keeps me going literally on an everyday basis. Like there are days where I struggle to get off of my couch, but
Mm.
that's probably the main thing that lights the fire under my behind to say, get up, girl, you got things to do today. So
Yes.
yeah. it really does. Having a kid really does shift a lot with life. And like I said, it's not always easy,
Mm.
but you always have to remember that you have somebody that's watching you, that is looking up to you, like that's mom. Like I want him to have great things to say about his mom for the most time.
Yes.
So
And I'm so sure so many other moms can agree with that and resonate with it because aside from being a mom, which is a full-time job, you have another full-time job. So it's like double dosing, literally double dosing. And I was just because also thinking of myself, I don't have a child yet, but I know I'm an entrepreneur at heart and I'm always a little nervous to figure out how I'm gonna balance all of this because I know I want to be a very dedicated mom and I know I'm going to love my future child or children so much, but also remembering not to lose myself in what I love. And I love entrepreneurship and I love what I do. And so I always like to ask just from women who are doing the things that I aspire to do, how do you do it? So thank you. Thank you for that.
well, just a little bit of advice, Toasty. Like
Mm,
you're already there with being mindful of, okay, I have to take time for myself, right? So the balance will come naturally. In the beginning, it may seem a little chaotic, but it will balance itself out. But just remember that it is okay to take time for you, because I dealt with a lot of mom guilt. And
yeah.
I think it's a natural thing. I think every woman who has children, whether they're an entrepreneur, works a 9 to 5, or whatever the case, you deal with mom guilt when you have to be away from your child in general. Even
Mm,
if that's, I got my child in the next room for an hour.
mm.
It gets like, you're gonna be perfect, girl. You'll find the balance.
Perfect? I don't know, but
Perfect.
I'm gonna try to be my best. Um,
Yes, you'll find it.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. Next, I want to talk about you are not just a trainer, right? I know that that is a lot of the verbiage sometimes that you use is that, but I've gotten to know you deeper throughout our journey, your journey with Criado, and you say you're a wellness advocate, and I even think that you're deeper than that. Like I think you are just someone who deeply cares, and you have this rich history of like so many different sides of you. Your music, like that creates your tapestry of who you are, and I think it's so cool. To find yourself in this realm of where you are today. So, I want to know with all of who you are, what drove you to shifting to more of a wellness advocate than a fitness or instructor or trainer? And no, yeah, that's my first question. What kind of drew you to shift that language?
Really and truly, it was what I was going through. I'm 37. I'll be 38 in December. I know a lot of women don't like to disclose their age, but I am not afraid of it. Because I think at this point, before, authenticity wasn't at the forefront.
Mm,
So now I'm leading with authenticity. And to be completely honest, I started going through like some things with my body that I just did not understand. Like I didn't know what was going on. I had gone to countless doctors. But I was still fighting depression. I was still not feeling well, low motivation, which I knew was not me. I've always been a very
mm,
bubbly, outgoing, go getter, let's get this done type of person. And it was a major shift. Um, and I had been doing a lot of things, of course, because that's what I was used to as far as work goes and keeping myself active. But my body just and my mind just did not feel good. I was dealing with a lot of burnout, um, you know, issues in and out of the house. A marriage is not always pretty, perfect. So, just dealing with life in general.
yeah.
And then of momming. And I don't care how deep into motherhood you get, like there's always going to be something, and you're always going to be dealing with something, or thinking hard about something, or stressing about something when it comes to motherhood. So and then on top of that, as I was training clients, some of my clients that were actually getting older in age were dealing with some of the same things. And
Mm.
so I had been silently trying to figure out what was going on with myself, but it made me feel better to share, starting with my clients, what I was going through and the things that I was doing to kind of help that were making me feel better, where I was getting results. And then, of course, joining the Criado community and doing a few other things, I just realized that there were so many women whose bodies were changing after 30 and no one talked about it and no one
Yes.
knew. And so I chose to kind of switch from the hardcore trainer fitness athlete into something a little softer and a little bit more personable for women in general, right? I think that and it's not to, of course, it's not bashing any male trainers at all, but
Yeah.
another thing that I saw as just a fitness enthusiast was that um, males just didn't know what to tell you, right? They don't really know the female body. Like, yes, you can, have someone lose weight. Yes, you can. But like, I was going through things in training and my hormones were being wrecked and I had no
Yeah.
idea that's what was on. And, just trying to. And so once I realized, once I finally got to a doctor. Um, I'm a PCOS. Um, I'm a girly. I'm one of the PCOS girlies.
Same.
So that was really my turning point. I was diagnosed with PCOS at 14. So it wasn't
Mm.
anything that was brand new to me. But when I was 14 and found out that I had PCOS, it started with like irregular periods and like just weird pains that I was having in my ovaries and things like that. Um, I went to the gynecologist. Of course, they put me on birth control,
Yep.
right? It's gonna fix everything. So of course, fast young Ashley was like, okay, sure, whatever. I guess that means I can do a couple of other things too. But they put me on birth control. In all seriousness, they put me on birth control, and I was on birth control pretty much up until I had my son.
Wow.
And once I found out I was pregnant, of course, all of that had kind of stopped, and it just happened to where I was in a relationship and I was in love to my now husband.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I wasn't as consistent with the birth control as I needed to be
Mm-hmm.
because, you but got pregnant. Everything was cool, gained a lot of weight while I was pregnant. A lot more than what they told me that I was gonna gain. So I think that was like the start of like the mental thing for me coming from
Mm-hmm.
fitness and industry. Um, but in a nutshell, once I realized how many women did not have answers, that's when I decided I wanted to help. I would talk to God about it, and He said, this is what I need for you to do. So I ended up making a really hard decision. And I stopped training clients recently for a while in person, um, just to kind of take care because I really needed to take care of myself. We're back in today's time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I knew I needed some TLC for myself to learn, not only to just take a break, but to learn and really dig deep into what I was going through and really be intentional about healing my body from the inside out so that I
Mm.
could really help women. And I'm still doing that. I don't know everything, but I still constantly dig and research information so that I can help the next woman that is on my roster or the next lady that decides or young girl that decides to come and ask me questions about her body or what
Yeah.
she should do as a wife or how to balance entrepreneurship. So, but overall women's wellness and hormonal issues is what got me to this space.
Yeah, no, that was a beautiful answer. And there are so many things, there are so many places I want to branch off with all of the things that you just said. Um, I want to know about if you're open to sharing the transition, because this is also something that I think about. I'm not pregnant yet, but I have been an athlete all my life and gaining weight. when you're pregnant and your body changing, and once you have the baby, the weight just doesn't fall off sometimes for some women, or the timing that it takes. So I'm curious if you have any advice or knowledge around how, when you get pregnant, your hormones change, your body changes. How do you handle that shift and stay mentally well?
Oh, it is a challenge
Yeah.
because a lot of women do deal with postpartum, and that's probably the ugliest part of all of it is postpartum, but it doesn't have to be. Um, I think my best advice would be to remember that it's only temporary, to remember that it is you have to learn to embrace your now body, right? So like while you're pregnant, because it's
Mm.
changing, going from pre-pregnancy to being pregnant, the belly is constantly growing, the body shape is constantly shifting, your face is transforming, everything is transforming all the way down to your fingers and toes, right? um but in that space you have to remember, I'm creating a human. This is my now body, but it's not my forever body, right? So you're gonna grow a big belly, you'll have your baby, and then your belly will go down. But then what happens is it's still kind of big, and then have like all of this loose excess skin. And so for me, that's where my shift was, because I was like, oh my God, like I'm never gonna get back to where I was,
Mm.
because I'm like, your skin stretches, how does it? But the female body is absolutely amazing. And you have to remember, take the time for yourself. It is not forever, it's just a period of time. And as long as you put in the work to get back to where you need to be, you're going to be good. Remember that consistency does not mean every single day.
Ooh,
I
that's a
think that,
good
I mean,
one.
even with just regular clients, I think there is so much confusion when it comes to the word consistency. Like, I have to be going to the gym every day. I have to bang it out. I have to sweat. I have to. No, you need to listen to your body and do what you have the capacity to do. Now, sometimes that may take a little bit longer in that mindset to get to where you need to be, but I think it's probably going to be the most healthy for your mental, especially because you're now a new mom and your whole life is changing. So the easiest way to go about it is taking your time and doing the best what you can do in the process of breastfeeding and washing bottles and changing dirty diapers, and but you'll get back. It just may take a little bit of time. For me, I was kind of coming from the music industry. I had already had some body issues, right? Some body image issues.
Yeah.
Um, Dealt with anorexia, well, not anorexia, but being bulimic, where I would like binge eat because I was restricted on diet. I would go to Kroger in the middle of the night after rehearsal and buy all the sweets I could possibly imagine and binge eat, and then go throw it up afterwards.
Mm.
And at the time, I wasn't looking at it as it was something that was unhealthy. It was just, I was in that mindset of like all or nothing. Like, this is how I'm going to get to where I need to be. Um, so when I did get pregnant, I gained 85 pounds. They told me I was
Mm.
only supposed to gain 25, but I gained 80.
25?
Yeah, they said 25 pounds
They
max.
lied.
And yeah, somebody did. Somebody told a big lie. Because baby girl I was 208 pounds on delivery day, and I started at like around like 125, 130. So
Mm.
you can imagine that it was different. Um, but and I went through all of the things. I went through comparing myself. Instagram was new. I went through scrolling and comparing myself to all the girls with the bodies and skinny, thick, whoever, right? All the gym girlies. I was just pressed, scrolling. And one day I just told myself that I did not want to do that anymore. I'm just going to focus on getting into the best shape of my life ever. And
Mm.
that's how I was able to kind of break the cycle and go back to the gym. And I hit it hardcore. Luckily, I was blessed because my mom came up to kind of help me and my husband with the baby. So I did have some help so that I could get to the gym twice a day. But I do understand that I have plenty of clients that they just can't do that. And all they have is 30 to 45 minutes to get it done. And that's it. And some days they can make it, and some days they can't. So just be gentle with yourself and remember that it's not always going to be that way. You're not always going to look this way. But listen to your body. And when you're ready, get back into it. Start slow. And remember that you do deserve the time to yourself because your body is also still healing from pregnancy for a good little while. It's not just 6 weeks, you know? Um, but you can definitely do it. Give yourself 6 months at least. Give
Mm.
yourself to a year to like really start to, get back and start feeling like yourself. And then the routine, then you'll start to go to the gym religiously, getting back into your militant schedule of really hitting the fitness goals that you want to hit. But I think the main thing is keeping those cortisol levels down. Don't stress yourself because that's not going to help anyway. It's actually going to work against you.
Facts, facts. I thank you so much for sharing all of that. And you hit on another really important topic that I think is often not discussed because there's shame around it, or yeah, because there's shame and people don't talk about this side of either the music industry, being an athlete, but eating disorders, disordered eating is huge, and I really resonate with it too because when I was in college, I struggled with my own eating disorders similar to yours, and it for me it was there's just so much pressure you have to have your body perform for you and to have your body look a certain way in a jersey and all of these things. And then I think it scares me, social media. Like it really scares me how much that's kind of taking over the world. And I see social media as a pro and a con. I think that it's great. You can now be your own business owner through social media, which is huge and so cool. And I think I even find myself scrolling and comparing me to others, my body, my fashion, my everything like that. And I am curious, this is for moms, women, humans alike. Like what, because I know you're big on social media too, but I feel like you do it in such an authentic way that lifts people up versus makes them feel bad about themselves. So how do you do that on social media, and how would you encourage others to do that as well?
Like you said, I think it comes from just being vulnerable, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and authentic and not um, allowing fear to stop you from posting. I was very aware of like having purpose at a young age, and I didn't know what that purpose was, but I just knew I'm here to do something, right? But coming from the music industry, I had been groomed or like conditioned to be perfect all the time. I'm a little bit older, so Instagram, social media, all of that stuff. We had MySpace. You know what I mean? We had Black Planet. Like that's what we did, to kind of, and then they were able to control a lot more in the industry. There wasn't this freedom and like full access to everyone in the world that's talented. So the comparison, it was there because we would have like rival girl groups in the city or whatever, but you still got to kind of focus on what you have. But the comparison just wasn't as intense.
Mm.
I with that to this day, like you said, like scrolling and comparing, or I'm not doing enough, or um, and I just think that because I know how that feels, like because I know the anxiety that it brings, the pressure that it brings, the depression that it can bring, right?
Yeah.
Being bad about yourself or what thinking about what you're not doing instead of focusing on what you already are doing and what you already have, or how can I be this, or how can I get to this point. It's really about just sitting in where you are and using the tools and the magic that you already have. So I am actually very particular about how I post on social media. My husband tells me all the time, like, Ashlee, I think you should just post whatever. I know you're always worried about this, that, and the third, and I'm a lot less worried than I used to be. But I think what he's speaking about is just detail of how it's presented. But I am such a lover and so caring about other people, even the people that I don't know. I'm very particular about how my messages are delivered. But again, I found it the easiest to just share and help through what I help others get through what I'm going through.
Mm.
Everything is super real time. Now, there are some time, of course, coming from the industry, everything's just so calculated, right?
Yeah.
So I was a very calculated individual at one time. So it was so difficult to break out of that and still is at times. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's just knowing how that feels and being on the other side of the phone, scrolling and comparing yourself, even though I don't talk about that, I would never want anyone else to feel that way on my page. So even with comments, and they're all genuine. I'm always going to compliment someone. I'm always going to lift someone up because I believe that leading with positive energy has gotten me here, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
young girls, it's like you said, the internet is crazy right now between AI and
Oh my
what's
gosh.
real. And like every day I'm having to figure out, like, is this real? What am I looking at? Right? But it is a scary place now for the younger generation growing up because you are comparing yourself to AI bodies that are not real. You're comparing yourself to filters with lashes and clear skin. And, I've got a blur going on in my background so people don't see that. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's important that we have more influencers or more leaders, especially in this health and wellness world, mental and physical, that are very authentic. And it may not be as everyday life as me, even if it's sitting in the gym and, I love the little video, like they sit and they talk about other people's workouts or with the more positive ones anyway. But, I love when they're like, lifting weights is not going to make you bulky. Like, I love that type of stuff because you need the gym to be healthy from top to bottom.
Mm.
But Harrison is not going to help you at all.
Yeah.
So you don't have to compare yourself to anyone else. You focus on what you've got going on and focus on how you feel, what makes you feel good. And I promise you, like, that's all you need. So
Yeah.
I just try to show my journey as best as I can so that everyone else can kind of, hopefully it's inspiring. I'm so glad to hear you say that. It actually makes me feel really good. Um, yeah.
Yeah, no, girl, your page makes me so happy because I know that it's like the you that I see every day. Like it's not like
Yeah.
for all the people out there, she's real. Like that's her. Like it's not fake. Like it's so
Very what you see.
relatable. Exactly. It's so relatable. It's so uplifting and it's just real. That's the word that I have to say. So just keep being you because it's great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, now I told you we would veer away from some of these questions. I told you.
We
Um,
got here.
okay. So I want to go back a little bit. We've been talking about we talked a little bit about PCOS, pregnancy, cortisol, and I want to come back to this idea of hormones, right? I am curious if you have heard of the term hormone literacy. And okay, so how would you define hormone literacy?
Um, Without it being the most perfect definition, I would say just kind of having some sort of knowledge of what hormones are, right? Specifically for women, right? Because we don't have to really worry about what the man got going on. Um, Knowing which hormones are dominant hormones that really control everything in your life and being aware of when those things might, your hormones may be imbalanced or your body's not feeling right. But also knowing like what you're doing in your lifestyle that could be contributing to hormones fluctuating up and down. A hormone like cortisol, which is your stress hormone. A lot of people don't, especially women, they don't even think about cortisol, and that stress can cause you to, or excuse me, a higher level of cortisol can cause you to hold on to belly fat, or can cause you to not be motivated, low motivation. But just really being aware of like your female hormones, progesterone, estrogen, your basic hormones that keep your body regulated and running properly. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. And doing your research on those things. That's it. Because as women, your hormones change so much. And if you don't have the knowledge or any literacy about hormones, you're really not gonna know. And it can be hormones in itself can get really deep and really complicated sometimes. But just basic knowledge of your dominant hormones as a female going through your cycle, when they're the highest, when they're the lowest, why you may be dealing with a little bit, your PMS may be a little bit elevated this month because, but in a nutshell, just your knowing about hormones and how they affect your body and how things that you do on an everyday basis most definitely and eat most definitely can affect your hormones. I
Yes,
would
that was
I hope that makes sense, y'all.
no, that was a great definition. That was fantastic. I think I also really liked how you said, as a woman, your hormones are constantly shifting and we are cyclical creatures, right? But even within these cycles that we have, there's hormones are crazy. They're like their own little universe. Is how
Yeah,
I
for
like
sure.
to.
Yeah, they need to give us a whole course in school on like hormones for real. Like it needs to be a whole class.
It does. It does because listen, I'm not saying everything stems from hormones, or maybe I am up for debate. But if if we think about how we feel, like you said, on a daily basis, the capacity that we can take on from our work, from physical activity, from our partner, from our friends, if we blow up at someone, I can almost guarantee if you are mindful and track it back to where you are in your cycle, or if you have some type of hormone imbalance, like if your energy's low, brain fog, all of these things, before I got really into depth on my own hormones, I had no idea that they were all interrelated and connected to my basic hormone function and imbalance of said hormones. Like I had no idea.
Yeah, it's crazy. And again, I'm with you there. Like before even playing sports and everything, it was never something that I thought about until I started to get a little bit older and things started to change. And I was like, what is going? I feel like a basket case, and like everybody in the world was against me. Like it was bad. Like it would be nights where I would just slide down my counter in the kitchen and cry on the floor, and I had no clue why I was feeling this way. And it
Hmm.
literally almost drove me crazy. But that goes back to one of the reasons why I decided to kind of shift where my career was going, because there are so many women like that, like you and I sitting right here that we just didn't know. It wasn't anything that, you know, our mothers taught us about or we learned in school. And so it's just one of those things where now that's where the internet has its pros because you can, all the information is at your fingertips.
Mm.
So if you have a little bit of knowledge, you can take that knowledge and find out everything that you need to know. But I think all women should most definitely start, especially around, in your like early to mid 20s, start to really pay attention to that type of stuff because it does start to change around that time. Some a little bit later than others, you lucky girls, you. But like you having the basic knowledge and doing the basic research will help so much later on and help you to understand those outbursts or feeling super emotional before your cycle or not understanding why I can't think straight, why I can't sleep at night, or I'm sleepy in the middle of the day, or all the way
Yes.
down to like blood sugar spikes and things. So you gotta know. So it's best to start earlier.
Yeah. And
And you
oh, sorry, go
have,
ahead, go ahead.
I was just saying, you have a plethora of information that you can now, there are lots of resources that you can now research and look up to find some of these answers. Because the I hate to say it, but the doctors are not of much help besides, getting your blood work done, which is the start of trying to figure all of this stuff out. So definitely get your blood work done. And people are not going to tell you that either. But get your blood work done and then have someone read the chart to you so that you can start to research and understand what is going on with your body from the inside because it
Yes.
changes.
Listen, I resonate when you say doctors don't have all the answers. And it's not to like crap on doctors or anything like that because they're needed. They are so needed. However, with um when you are dealing with symptoms that are not life or death necessarily, and it is quality of life that you're talking about, you're trying to achieve a higher quality of life. I feel that one has to have a certain understanding of what's going on with them um, to accurately describe and talk to doctors so that you can work together because they have no idea what it's like to be in your body. They have no idea what it's like to have brain fog so bad, and they don't know places to start unless you can guide them on your own body because you are the expert of your own body, and they are there to assist you. So I
Awareness is a real thing. And just trying to be in sync with your own body so that you can tell, because that was definitely a difficult thing to do when you're going to multiple doctors and they're telling you, you're trying to describe as best as you can. I remember being in tears a lot of times trying to like, no, something is wrong with me, like I don't feel good. And they want to put you on antidepressants, they want to put you back on birth control, they want to. And so it's about stripping everything down, right? From diet to, and then just building everything back up, taking away what doesn't work, taking away the things that don't make you feel great, and then using the information that the doctor is giving you from the blood work or whatever to continue to get yourself in optimal shape, as far as your hormone balance goes. So, but yeah, it's tough. It's very tough out here for us women, as our bodies start to change because the doctors don't know, what you're going through, and you're just trying to explain, and sometimes they just think you're being a little dramatic or they just want to throw some medication on you and all
yeah,
right, let's be back in a month. So sometimes you do have to being aware means taking things into your own hands and becoming an advocate of yourself.
yeah.
um, and then once you absolutely once you put all those things together, I think it's easier for you and the doctors to figure out what's going on.
Exactly. No, exactly. And I want to go back to when you said at the age of 30, everything kind of changes and shifts in the female body. I'm 29 right now. And when I tell you, I had a breakdown the other day because I'm like, What's going on with my body? I don't know. Like it's different. And like I said, I've been an athlete all my life. My body hasn't, to be honest, my body from college, I still have clothes from college in my closet. But now those clothes are fitting me differently and I'm not doing anything different. I'm just living my life. Like and so that's the first thing I want to talk about is this kind of life transition at 30. And then you also mentioned how you have to be in the gym. And I think that you would have really good information to share about as women's bodies age, our bone density and all of this stuff goes down. I'm not saying it right because I'm not the expert, but I just lead me on that trail.
So as we age, of course, you'll feel it before you know what's going on.
Mhm.
Um, yes, you have a higher risk of osteoporosis and things like that. So being in the gym and strength training is really, really important after 30. I mean, forget every myth that you've heard. Girl, get in the gym and strength train. Now, maybe I would like to hear a bit more of resistance training as opposed to strength training, because I think when we use strength training, people think that we're powerlifting or we're not trying to necessarily bulk up, but the more muscle that you have on your body as you age, the better. Because as we get older, we tend to lose muscle very quickly. And once you lose the muscle, it is so difficult to get back as you get older. When you start to deal with things like perimenopause or menopausal women, I think it's so important for you to get in and lift so that you can keep a strong body as you get older. Lifting is also going to help balance those hormones. Um, but I think it gets tricky because there's so much information about fitness and what you should do to lose weight, what you shouldn't do after 30, what you basic knowledge, you need to go and lift some weights and you need to lift some heavier weights. I'm not talking about little 2, 3 pound Pilates weights, no shade to Pilates, um, because Pilates has its place as well. But you need to get on some iron, like lift some weights. Um, because you can maintain, but a lot of the exercises that you see with the lighter weights are going to be cardio based weights. And not to say that you don't need cardio, but as you get older, you can kind of pull back on the cardio and lift a little bit more. You're going to get a bit of cardio as you lift heavier anyway. Um, but I see so many people that's like, oh, cardio, 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 cardio. I gotta run. I gotta do this. I gotta. It's great for heart health, but it's not good, not necessarily great for your muscles or your hormone levels. The more cardio that you're doing, especially HIIT cardio, things like your interval training, all of your high endurance training, um, burpees and all that hardcore stuff, maybe even a little bit of CrossFit. I think what goes out the window is people not thinking, not being aware of their cortisol levels and how those types of exercises affect your cortisol. And then it's like, oh, I'm doing 90 hours of 90 minutes of cardio every 3 days or every 2 to 4 times a week, and I'm still not losing any weight. Well, you're not losing the weight because you're shooting your cortisol levels up through the sky and your body is in constant fight or flight mode, and
Yes.
is a safety hormone. So it's telling your body to hold on to the fat, right? We need this. Or it's causing you more fat deposit because you're stressed. So we do with my programming, we do cardio, but we do smart cardio. So we may do some sprints. And when I say sprinting looks different for everybody if they're able, right? So I'm not talking about like running as fast as you can like you were in track, but pushing yourself as hard as you possibly can to build the heart rate for a short period of time. And then we go back. This is done after lifting or in between your lifting days. Um, But yeah, I think it's just going back to what, girl, I can veer off. But going back to what you're saying, muscle is important. So the last thing you need to be thinking about is, oh my gosh, I'm gonna bulk up. If well, I don't want to bulk up in the gym. Baby girl, I promise you, you are not eating enough food to bulk up and look like a man, right? You got to eat to build muscle. You need the muscle as you age, or you're going to lose it. On top of that, if you pay attention to older women, once you get older and you start having falls and accidents and things like that, that's when you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, that bone density has come down quite a bit. You're not as strong, your bones are brittle, and strength training is going to help you with that. There are also a few supplements that kind of help, taking your collagen, your magnesium, your vitamin D, those three things are staples that you need. I think everybody needs to take those. But also things like creatine help with your bone health. And building. You just got to drink a lot of water, but your muscle is going to keep you feeling at your best. So build as much muscle as you can, ladies. Get in the gym, lift, minimal cardio, get it in, but keep it down to a max of 2 days, 30 minutes or for 30 minutes after your workout. It doesn't have to be cardio every single day. Fasted cardio is, I'm sorry, it's just not the way to do it. It's going to screw up your hormones so bad. Uh,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I love that advice. When I was in the trenches of my PCOS journey, I was working with a nutritionist actually, and she was like testing different levels of things, and she was like, "Your cortisol levels are through the roof. You are stressed." And I'm like, "I'm stressed? Like I don't feel stressed." She's like, "What do you do? Like how do you exercise? Like what are you doing?" And that's when I was teaching my yoga sculpt classes multiple times a week and then working out for myself. I was running a half marathon. I was doing all the things that you think are healthy. You're like, no, but I'm good. Like I'm moving my body. My heart is healthy. I'm doing all this stuff. And when she told me, she said, Tosi, you got to slow down. You have to limit how much cardio and HIIT and high intensity you are doing. I was like, this was like foreign language to me because that has never been anything in my life that I had heard to make yourself well is to cut back on all that stuff. It always would be supported in all these run clubs, which are great, which are fantastic, but like knowing the place of where those fit in your
Yeah.
life as a female and knowing your hormones and how the exercises that you do directly impact cortisol, which is a huge I'm probably making this word up, but it's like a lighter to your other hormones. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Like a precursor. Absolutely.
Yes, yes. So I no, I love that advice that you gave, and I think um I'm realizing I need to get in the gym because I just have this mental block of lifting weights.
Yeah.
I just have a mental block, Ashley. I do.
You know what, Toasty? Let me tell you something. That's because I see you like, oh no, don't guilt yourself about that. You're
Yeah.
human. It happens. Like I was just in a space a couple of months ago where I was like, I just don't want to go to the gym. It's like my mind is telling me, like, I'm making plans the night before, my outfit's laid out, I got my supplements lined up, I'm prepared, right? And
Mm,
I'm telling myself, yeah, I'm going to the gym at 2 o'clock. I'm going to make this happen. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I don't do it. Like I would sit on the couch and constantly just think about the gym.
mm,
My body just wasn't I was not motivated to work out. And this is as a trainer and someone who, and I dealt with the guilt of like being, I promise you, this was just literally like a few months, like beginning of the year,
hmm
right? It was like, dang, you're that girl that's like telling everybody else what to do, but you're not doing it, right? And I
mm,
think it was just being stressed out, burnout, with burnout, I'm doing all the things, right? Run club, running, lots of cardio on my Peloton bike, just trying to just get some type of movement in, right? Um, and I had to realize that yes, it's okay. You're gonna have bumps in the road, but again, that goes back to like what we spoke about in the beginning with consistency, is changing your relationship with what consistency looks like, right? So you take it one day at a time, right? You need to at least try to figure out a plan to get back and go in. And it may not be your first day back, may not be your first day. It may not be super hardcore. You may not feel like you did much of anything, but you got up and you went. You made it happen. And then
Yeah.
as you start to, get back into the groove of things, you're going to start to feel better. So you're going to want to go to the gym, right? And it again, consistency isn't every day, right? You got to listen to your body and do what you can do. But it all starts with just going.
Mm.
There's fear of like, oh, I'm scared of I don't know what I'm going to be doing when I go in there, or
Mm.
I'm scared of looking like I don't know what I'm doing, or not looking like I work out like these other people inside of the gym. And you just have to do it for you. You got to shift that mindset of consistency and knowing that you're going to fall off. I fall off, but are you able to get back up and get into your routine, right?
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about it's completely normal to have that lack of motivation to get in the gym and lift weights, and but just start somewhere, something small, even if it starts with going to a Pilates class first, or finding a little body weight strength class to go to throughout the week before to get yourself acclimated with the gym or get comfortable with the people around the gym, and then take maybe a group strength class. That way you're not by yourself until you get into the groove of lifting again.
Yeah.
But you understand, I am just now getting back in. And my husband travels, so there's times where I literally cannot get in the gym. And so it gets difficult. I have weights at home. Even having weights at home, that couch just sometimes looks a lot better than the weight,
It does, man.
but makes it a lot easier just even when you start, just to sit down and take a break. But it's just about starting somewhere. We're all human, and you have to make realistic goals when it comes to going back. So you can get there.
Yeah.
Just take it and
Okay.
don't not getting to the gym one day or having a week where you weren't able to make it. Get back up and get right back into it. And just
Mm.
remember how your body feel. Aside from the soreness, I feel good. I have more mental clarity. My energy feels a lot brighter, right?
Yeah.
So
No, I love
get in
that.
there, girl.
Okay, I'll listen. I'll listen to you, Ashley. No, that
Or if
was
you need
good.
workout, just call me. No problem. I'll help you out. I got you.
Okay, okay, thank you. Now if I call you.
Call me, girl.
Okay.
Call me, girl.
Okay, good. All right. I know we're a little over, but I have like one or two more questions. Is that okay?
Right, yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. I want to ask you, um, you work with women to reach their highest selves, right? And I want to know, what does your highest self look like or feel like right now, and how are you working towards her?
Ooh, I want all the things, girl. I just really and truly, before I get silly, I just want to feel good. I just want to feel good about myself so that I can share the love to others. And I don't I'm not in a crabby mood to where others are uncomfortable around me,
Mm,
or where I feel the need to pull my energy away from people because I'm not in the best space. But someone who was just thriving and still just helping others. I really feel like my purpose and I'm my highest self when I am able to help others in any capacity. If that's just motivating someone in the gym, you're doing a great job. If that's just sharing a smile with someone as I walk past them on the street, um, and then sharing my experience with other women. Um, but right now I try to just, again, my journey to get there, what the things that I've been doing to get to that highest self of just feeling good, on a continuous basis, is continuing to take time for myself, knowing when I feel like a burnout is coming on and I need time to just, and remembering that it's okay. Being gentle with myself has gotten me there. That's not to say not being disciplined, right? Because
Mhm.
discipline is a big part of it. Um, but being gentle, there are days where I'm not going to feel my best and I'm not going to, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you're not your highest self. It just means, you're going through a cycle. We're cyclical women, right? So you're going to have your ebbs and flows. But yeah, I just want to continue to motivate women and to inspire women and to hold women at the same time and create a safe space for, even if I don't know the answer, I'm going to go try to figure it out to
Mhm.
help the next person. But yeah, that's it. Just keeping my routine, putting the best things that I can inside my body without depriving myself. Mental practices, mental health practices, things like yoga, stretching, music is a big one for me. Spending time with my kid, um, and then being able to share that with others. I'm a simple girl. I don't need much. I just want to be happy and I want to help others feel good as well. That's
Hmm. That's
it.
it. That's it, man.
It.
I
That
love it. Okay.
so you can get there. It takes, um, you know, it takes time. It takes putting some habits in place. It takes being honest with yourself about habits and some of the ways that you get in your own way. But again, being gentle with those things and saying, okay, all of this can change. Now, when am I ready to change it? Now, when am I going to take the steps to change it? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I I love that. Your highest self sounds like a great person to be around. And I feel like you are kind of her right now. And so I
Thank
love her.
you.
Um,
I love you too. Thank
okay.
you, Toast.
Last question, and we can get a little silly on this one if we want. I know your R&Breathe playlist because you played it at a Criado community class is they are fire. They are fire. And music you said is really
Thank you.
important for you. What are if you're trying to listen to some songs to get to Ashlee, higher self Ashlee in your heart, can you give me like one or two that would do it for you?
Most definitely. So I annoyed my husband 2 nights ago. I don't know. It was after a gym session. I think I might have had too much like pre-workout or whatever. But Rihanna's there are a couple of Rihanna albums, but Rihanna's Rated R album, there are so many songs on there like Cockiness, uh Birthday Cake,
Yeah.
records like that are gonna get me there. They always not necessarily in the R&B. It's like pop R&B, I guess. But it's just the stuff she's talking about. I was like, yeah, girl. It just took me back to when I was like, me and my girls were like creating havoc in the streets of Atlanta. We were just happy living, not worried about anything. But we felt so like strong and liberated to be
Mm,
women. And like the Rihanna era was like, you couldn't tell me anything. Okay. So if I need a pick me up to get me back to feeling good or like put me in that, I just need my spice back.
mm.
I'm probably gonna throw on some Rihanna from like that time. Um, but I also kind of like my trap music too. So
Okay.
I will when I'm in the gym, my playlist will be sometimes it's R&B. At first, I never used to work out to R&B music. I just felt like it was a little too slow, but that's when we're not doing that anymore. We're not there anymore, right? Um, so I'll listen to um either 90s R&B, which is probably my favorite era of music ever. There will never be anything like it, although we have some wonderful artists right now that are trying to get us back there, that are putting out amazing music. Um, but I love a good 90s R&B playlist. But I also like tap into the new stuff, but the trap music is gonna get me there to where I'm ready to like lift some heavy stuff and do some damage in the gym.
Yeah.
R&B is in my soul. It's just something about R&B music. I was an R&B singer. Like that's, yeah, I tapped into quite a few other genres as well or styles as a singer. But I don't know. I grew up in the 90s and it's something about that music, um, the production, the sounds that they used, the melodies that they created, the cadences of the verses and the hooks, and then they had bridges like that would build the track up and build like, you know, and
Yeah.
then just now we're just flowing. It's like I don't know, it's something about R&B music, and I think R&B music is very, very healing. It always has been. A
Mm.
nice, slow playlist. Even your more upbeats, like "Let Me Love You" by Mario, or "Booed
Yeah.
Up" by LMI. They all have a specific, like a certain vibe that will get you. It's a vibe. Like it'll calm. It can calm you. You still have a little energy about yourself. So yeah, R&B is near and dear to my heart. So
Yes.
always gonna get me in the mood with an R&B playlist.
Yeah, so
Whether
throw her on the ox, basically.
yeah, like, I got you. Like we're gonna do it. I'm very specific about the playlist that I do for R&Breathe. It is a thing for me. I love curating the playlist. I try to curate it to where it syncs with the movement. So you're gonna have slower songs, you may have some older songs, you may have newer songs that you never heard before, but you're gonna feel like you've heard them before because of the movements and how in tune and intentional we're being with the music, and the movements to flow seamlessly. I'm so sorry, my dog is over it.
Oh, I didn't
But
even hear
yeah,
it.
I think, oh, good. Okay, good. He's just back there whining a little bit. But yeah, I think that's what makes R&Breathe really special is that um, I'm not just throwing anything together. I'm literally taking both of my worlds because I do come from music professionally. That was like my that's my healer, right? Is music.
Mm.
Um, and I was able to, although it's not on like the super entertainer scale, like I wanted to be Beyonce at one point, right?
Mm.
Um, but it allows me to be very authentic and be who I am at the core, right? What I do, what I add, and then add the fitness to that. So it allowed me to bring both of my worlds together, both things that mean everything to me. I personally have to have fitness in my life. It's good for my mind. It's when I'm not moving, I don't feel well, and I just know that that's something. As much as sometimes we don't want to do that, I know that that's something that I have to have, and so is music. And
Yeah.
so if I can I feel my best when I'm flowing through yoga movements or mobility
Mm.
movements with some nice R&B music on. It's how what I used to do when I was feeling overwhelmed or when I was feeling burnout, or if I just need some time to myself, to really gather myself. And I just really wanted to share that energy along with positively affirming others as well, because the space of R&Breathe is very healing. I think it's necessary for people to take the time to really take care of themselves and
Yeah.
focus on releasing whatever it is that is overwhelming you or that's sitting on your chest from the week or the month before. And then allowing your body to also recover, because there are so many people that are in the gym and moving around, traveling a lot. You got to take the time to allow your body to recover. So that's what the R&B space is. And we're going to jam every single time.
Yeah.
So if you guys are looking for the playlist, there is, you can follow it on Spotify. Just type in R&Breathe and you can go ahead and just hit the follow button. I add songs every month, the playlist from class every month onto the playlist. So you can just literally hit it from top to bottom and let it play. And it's going to take you different places. You're going to feel good. And once you're done moving to it, you'll be good. You're welcome.
Yes. No, that is so great. I'm about to follow that as soon as we get off this call. And
And then let me
I,
know if you have any requests too. You come into class and yeah, let me know. Hey, add this. I'm gonna add it.
yes, I love it. Okay. I love you. I love talking with you.
Um,
I I really think of a lot. I've met a lot of people while I've been here in Atlanta, but for some reason, I just feel like we were meant to find each other somehow. And I really truly hope that we're in each other's lives for a long time. I'm so
you're
in
stuck with me, girl.
I'll take it. I love it.
I love my Criado family.
Mm,
I'm so glad that we crossed paths. Um, I think that I tell you this, you ladies, this all the time. I think that what you're bringing and the impact that this community makes is huge, not just in Atlanta, but expanding everywhere, just for women in general. I think that you guys have really set the tone as opposed to what wellness really is mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally.
mm,
And you also create the resources for women where they may feel like they don't have the guidance, they're not sure what to do. And you guys have a beautiful way of letting women know that they're going to be okay and they're not the only ones going through certain things. So to be a part of this community, I'm extremely honored. I'm extremely blessed to know you ladies. And I pray the same that I'm able to continue to work with the Criado organization. I'm rocking till the wheels fall off because it is, like I said earlier, we need more women leaders like you, young and older women who are not afraid to step out and make a difference, um, and speak out at the same time. So, thank you, ladies, for your contribution to health and women's wellness because you just don't see it a lot in this type of space. It's always about a dollar or it's always about, and this is very much not that. I recommend this community to everyone that I know, all the women that I know, especially the younger ones. Like, hey, Criado is a community where you can be yourself. You're going to learn things that you want to know, even if it's just about your cycle or whatever. And you're going to feel uplifted and you're going to feel a part of something, like you belong somewhere. So thank you, ladies, for creating that. Just continue to be you and shine and do what you ladies are doing because it is it's God's work. It is so needed. It is so needed.
oh,
It is.
I receive it. I take all of that in. I'm gonna throw it to Kai through the air. She can feel it. When she hears those words, she's gonna feel it. Our Criado team, I'm gonna throw it to them too.
I'm never gonna stop telling you. I tell y'all this all the time, but it's because I truly mean it from my
Mm,
core. Like the Criado community has helped me in so many ways, going through the thing, dealing with my depression and anxiety and, in more ways than one. Like I couldn't, we would have to have a whole nother conversation to talk about it. But um,
yeah.
me personally, again, and that's another reason why it is so easy for me to pull people into this. And I'm so grateful to have you ladies. So you're very powerful. What Criado stands for is very, very powerful.
Thank you so much, Ashley. We're gonna have to run it back and do a part two so we can hear how much you love us. We have to.
No problem. You got to get your flowers now. I'd rather give them to you now than never have the chance. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
here are your flowers
Thank
to the Criado community, you, Kylan, Kenyana, everybody, D, everybody who is a part of this, and it makes me proud to watch it grow,
Mhm.
um, and build. What you're building is just it's so needed right now in a world of, full of AI, and we don't,
Full of
come to
AI and other things.
yeah, come to Criado, girl. We'll get you together. So
Yes.
this is great.
Yay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ashley. I am going to now, if our community wants to find you, wants to know where you are, where do you want to send them?
Come to my Instagram page. You'll find everything. My Instagram handle is at Project Body TM. That's T as in Tom, M as in monkey. There you can find all of my YouTube stuff. You can find information about R&Breathe. You will find my website, which also has all of the information. That's very easy as well, www.projectbodytm.com. Um, I'm building again a community of people where we talk about hormones and all of that stuff. So if you guys have any questions or you just want to give me a shout or just say hi, please come by and check it out. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Instagram.
That's
TikTok is the
perfect.
same thing. So everything it will be on a drop down list for my Instagram page for sure.
Perfect. Look at that streamline entrepreneur. That's so
Gotta make
streamlined.
it easy. One stop shop, one click, you find everything. That's what they need. So
Yes.
make it easy. Nothing too complicated.
Yes, that's perfect. Yes, that's it. And also, if anyone wants to find her on our website, we're going to add your links and URLs to our expert page. So you can also go to gocriado.org and look under our team, and Ashley will be there under one of our community experts, and you'll be able to find all our information there. And thank you all so much for listening. Thank you, Ashley, for being you, for being amazing, and for being so vulnerable in our conversation. This was so lovely. I
Yes,
loved
I
it.
thank you so much for having me, Tosi, and even thinking of me to do this. This is awesome. Yet another milestone that we, hit. So thank you. I love you so much.
Love you too. All right. We'll be
I-
in touch.
all right, I'll talk to you soon, girly.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All right,
Ashley.
bye, guys. You're welcome.
Bye.